you enjoy wild rides, you'll be happy with this year's stock market because it looks like we're in for another roller coaster ride. But for those who prefer a tamer pace, certified financial planner Jim Lineweaver's here with just the ticket to surviving the ups and downs. Jim's with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Thanks for joining us again, Jim.
My pleasure.
Jim, what indications are out there right now that indicate that we better buckle up for a bumpy ride?
One of the biggest indicators that people look at, and it's not your retail investors, more your institutional investors, they're going to look at what's called a volatility index. It's called the VIX, and what it does is it measures what people are willing to pay for an option on the S&P 500. An option is the right to purchase something 1 year from today, and a lot of institutions use these. So when markets gets really volatile, like it did back in June of last year, it spiked all the way up to 25. A norm back in the 90s was between 9 and 10. It dipped to about 15 in the fall and ended the year in the 20s.
So, well, you know, the election's over, thankfully.
Yes.
And, you know, things tend to seem to go up and down a little bit more around election time. And now that the election's over, shouldn't that calm things down?
You'd think so, to get rid of some of this uncertainty and everything. We know who the president is for the next 4 years. But the problem is everybody's worried about not only how the president's going to work everything out with Congress, because there's a lot of issues at hand, huge debt issues, but also as we're becoming more of a global civilization, you got to worry about China's slowdown, you got to worry about all the debt issues in Greece, our own economy slowing back down again. So there's a lot of factors that are out there that could still derail the market.
What should we do then? All right, we know that this is going to be ups and downs. Should we take everything out of the market and hide it under the mattress?
Well, that's not going to work either. Okay. So you got to stay ahead of inflation.
All right.
So here's a couple of things that you can look at. You can use Buffett's old rule of thumb, which was 100 minus your age is all the amount of money that you want to have at risk. So if you're 70 years old, then what ends up happening is, you know, you can have about 30% totally at risk of the market with no guarantees. There are other things out there like fixed income securities that you can probably use for the next couple of years before the interest rates start to raise. And there are other investments that are non-correlated to the market that might be able to get you in that 5 to 7% income range as well.
So buying and holding, is that what we should be doing now?
Well, unfortunately, the retail investors like you and I can't move as fast as institutions can, and therefore a buy and hold strategy really doesn't work. If you're going to have that money in the market, you have to make sure somebody's really minding the store. They're not always going to get it right. Nobody even does, not even Buffett. However, if you can catch the trends, you can actually save a lot of money and build good wealth over time.
But when I try to gauge the, you know, to make the right decision, I buy when it's the highest and I sell when it's the lowest, and I think a lot of people do that.
Well, then you need to come see me because I can take care of that for you. I'll get your emotions out of your portfolio and we'll get it back on track.
Is that what part of it is the emotions?
It's huge. Everybody gets their emotions in their portfolio, and you'd be amazing it's amazing how successful people can be if you just strip that out of the equation, but it's very hard to do. But that's where a professional can come in to help.
And there are objective things to look at to determine what general direction. I mean, even if you can't time it exactly, which nobody can. But
exactly. Yeah, just like September of last year, we hit a 3-year high in the market, and we pulled a lot of our investors off the table in equities, and we had in a fixed income account making over 5%. So they didn't go through that dip. But a lot of people saw some of those things coming, but you got to be able to react based on facts and not just your opinions.
All right, and more information. You have a seminar coming up?
We do, and this will be really helpful for your viewers. It's free. There's no charge. It's on Tuesday, January 15th at 1 p.m. at our Valley View office, and also Thursday, January 17th at 6:30 p.m.
And you said this is free?
Free. There's no charge.
Okay.
I expect you to be there.
I will be there. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. The roller coaster ride of the stock market may not be amusing, but the good news is if you plan ahead and anticipate the curves, you should come to the end of the ride in good shape. For help, attend Jim's seminar. There's lots of good, helpful information. I've heard it. They're great. He's easy to understand, and it's free. Give him a call. His number's next.
Learn more by calling the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net.